There were few trials remaining between Cassandra and her destination. The land called Numeria, where her feet carried her after weeks and months on the road, was a cold and empty place in those days. There were almost no permanent towns for her to pass through, stop in for a rest or supplies or even conversation. Not that she needed any of those things any longer. She was, in this part of her life at least, dozens of people in one body, each fully realized and conscious. They kept one another company, shared stories that they all knew in their shared memory, but enjoyed just the same. As she walked through barren plains both day and night, she marveled at the richness of her experiences, at her hundreds of years of memories. These conversations were often spoken out loud, her voices in different accents and regional dialects, even different languages, quite out of her control. She did not even have names for some of the languages that came through her mouth, but she understood them just the same. The roving clans of Kelebs were few and far between in that desolate country, and in the rare occasion they encountered one another, these imposing groups of warriors gave her a wide berth, as if she, a fledgling priestess from Alkenstar, was a threat to armed and trained warriors in large numbers. Perhaps it was her circuit tattoos, which glowed continuously in those days, that frightened them off. It didn't matter to Cassandra. There could be no better companion for her than the friends who lived inside her mind, who granted her incredible magical powers and showed her the world that they had very nearly reached. There was a small town at the base of the mountain, which no longer gleamed so brightly silver as it did in her memories. Countless generations and thousands of years had covered it in mud and grime, and the seemingly immortal plants that strived in those barren lands had colonized its surface. Still, there was no mistaking the place. The mountain she gazed upon was no natural land formation. It was a ship from beyond the stars, a wonder beyond all comprehension. It was the place that she, all of her, was born. It was the place where her god waited. This is Pod Against the Machine.
Pod Against the Machine. Against the Machine.
Welcome back to Pod Against the Machine, the only Pathfinder actual play where the star motes wander free and the Velstrax have no appreciation for archaeology. I'm your host, and here's everyone.
Hello.
It's been 84 years. And no time has passed.
It's been so long, but also no long.
Yeah, you listeners that are hoping we'd be up to Pathfinder 3rd edition by now, no, we're still doing original 1E rules.
Or some semblance of them anyways.
Certainly a
It's
semblance.
like jazz. You know, we know the rules so well, we know where to improvise. Pretty sure James Jacobs said that's okay. Jason Bullman definitely.
It's all about the rules you don't play.
100%.
It's true.
Jason Jazzman Bullman. I am editing this episode, so I'm going to cut that out because if he does hear that.
I thought you were going to say you were going to make that the title.
Oh, yeah.
Might be.
Bullman the Jazzman.
He wasn't even the title in the episodes he GM'd. All right, so what happened the last time we played? For the folks at home, despite this coming out in the exactly normal cadence that it always does, I don't know what you're talking about, this is only the second time we've played in 2 months. So, last time on the program, the party, I believe, finished off the Velstrack at the top of the Ziggurat, that little smitey do up there. And then they looked around the perimeter and saw that there appeared to be some people down at the bottom in the back. So they climbed down around to the back side of the ziggurat and found that there were 4 dead Kyals back there who looked like they'd been prepped for a fight, but if there had been a fight, they didn't do a whole lot in it. Their silver swords were clean, but they were also silver, which could come in handy, in Velstrak times. So the party, they also found a map on it with a literal plot hook on there over the city of Chesed, interestingly. But that, of course, is a problem for later. They stuffed that away and noticed the slightly ajar stone door in the back of the ziggurat that led inside to a weird kind of storage/ceremony chamber. They crept on in there, found a really weird statue of a humanoid with antlers, with a rotting staff. And as they went to check that out, there were some footsteps and some decidedly French menacing as the recently departed Hersek Kaio stepped into one of the openings around the party, and then seconds later, Alaris Zaleshi, or the Velstrik equivalent of Alaris Zaleshi, appeared on the other side. Now, the party was quick to identify Nixariel standing just behind Alaris, and old Nargan Harovix, the worm that walks, standing behind Hersek, and there was no time for conversation. We jumped right into initiative. Kira shot a hook and dragged herself over to Nixariel and beat her up pretty good, but after that, I think things took a little bit of a turn. Nixariel healed herself. She got her little chitin buddy in between her and Kira, and we got the party hit with some blasphemous magic that knocked down Levi, Tarazi, Asuma, and Alwyn's strength by 12, which was just brutal. But we did, interestingly enough, play that incorrectly at the end of last episode. You see, Jero pointed out to me after we finished recording the following chunk of the rules of Pathfinder 1st Edition. Some spells and abilities cause you to take an ability penalty for a limited amount of time. While in effect, these penalties function just like ability damage, but they cannot cause you to fall unconscious or die. In essence, penalties cannot decrease your ability score to less than 1. So, Alwyn and Asuma are not unconscious. They do not have 0 strength. And Jero gets a Sky Medal. So this Sky Medal
still give
is...
those out?
Yeah, rarely.
Awesome.
But we've got them. This is a Sky Medal from Mac. It says, "Hi, team. Please give a Sky Medal to Jero." It's not like they're going to need it for a fort save or anything, but it's just a good thing to have around for a rainy day. What a prescient Sky Medal.
Definitely.
Thanks, Mac.
We love our prescient and precious scrappers.
If you want more prescient and precious scrappers merch, check out our holiday line that I have now spoken into existence.
Ooh, we're going to have holiday ornaments.
Glittery, prescient, and precious throw pillows. Come on.
You can have those ones with the sequins that change colors when you rub your hand on it.
I just want a little inverted Heath holding another Christmas ornament, but just upside down. Or like a Christmas light that lights up.
A Heath wreath.
Oh,
A free.
a Heath wreath.
Oh. Now, of note, at the end of the last episode, though, Levi and Tarazi were dazed on the first round of that blasphemy, even though they weren't unconscious. So no harm done there because they actually didn't land any hits between the two of them. Ho! And we closed on Asuma's turn, where she actually did get a turn for not being unconscious, but did not get a turn on account of being dazed. So we didn't actually do anything of consequence wrong so far, which is very exciting. Shall we jump back into combat? Is it everyone feel like combat time?
Let's.
Combat time.
Sure.
Turn on that battle music. Yeah.
All right. We have definitely turned on real battle music, and that brings us to the top of round 3. Of course, Hersek Kaio is the first to act in round 3, and he is standing in a room where Alwyn and Asuma have just fallen to the ground in front of him, and they're quite weak because despite not being unconscious, one strength is not enough for them to stand up with the gear that they currently have. He is going to take a 5-foot step to the west, and standing at a little dais there, he is going to full attack Asuma, the dazed, prone gunslinger, who is the least dangerous she's ever going to be right now. And I think we will eliminate this threat while we have a moment, shall we?
So rude. Well, he's
So
gonna have
study
to die
target.
too.
I hate Hersick's rolls because he has so many things going on, but that first one is a hit. I'm gonna use a die roller for this because it is a lot. All right, Asuma takes 22 damage off the bat here, and he is going to stab her a second time. That will also hit. She's going to take 19 more damage. And for the final attack here, because he does get 3. Oh, not quite a critical threat, just one short of it. I'll roll the last one by hand because it's not as complicated as I thought it was. All right. 25 more damage, much better roll that time. Asuma has taken a big chunk. Her turn is over. The nostalgic Kira is up.
Kira sees this happen, but has a whole other thing going on. So she'll be like, I'll be right there, don't die. And I guess she'll attack this Leshy person again. See if I remember how to play. Oh, I did not take my 5 bleed last time. I went back and listened to the episode, didn't take that. So I'm going to take that, and then it immediately stops because I have fast healing.
All right.
That's a 14 plus 23. Gosh, I forgot about that. 14, 23, 7, 37.
37
Does that
will
sound
hit.
right? Great. It's one hit. That is a 15 plus a 19. Gosh, I need a calculator tonight. My brain is not going to be doing math. Does it sound like a 15 plus a 19 hit, Sam? Before I pull out this calculator?
15 plus a 19 does sound like a hit. to me.
34. Okay, great. It's another 15 plus a 14, so that's going to be whatever I just said. 34 minus 4. So either a 29 or a 30. I don't remember what I said. Guys, the brain fog is real. I'm having a real tough time. But that's going to be a 29-ish.
Yeah, 29 hits, just barely.
Great. And last one. That's a 2 for an 11. So 3 hits.
Pretty good.
Roll. 96 plus 75. 111 points of chainsaw damage. Does this person die?
She falls to the ground.
All right, I step on her face. I mean, flavorly.
That's mean, but understandable.
She's mean.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm not going to argue with that.
For once. She's not a friend. That's my turn.
That brings us to Alwyn's turn. Alwyn is not unconscious, but he is dazed for this round, so... Ha ha ha. No turn for
Yeah,
you.
so he just lays on the ground dazed and is unable to speak or move.
Would you say he's also confused?
I hope not. Like, mechanically?
No, just because it's the name of a movie, and but if
Oh.
you'd agreed to it, then yeah, I would have totally just made him also confused.
No, but he does mumble under his breath, all right, all right, all right.
All right. Yeah, so I think that takes us to little Nikki's turn. Little Nikki is let's see, she's thinking here because things are a little bit dicey at this particular moment. And I think what she's going to do is take a 5-foot step back so she's only in the reach of the big snake. Because, it feels like a nice place to be at this moment. She's going to roll to cast defensively, and she does get it. I don't think that she can actually fail. I should probably look up what the spell actually does before I say I'm casting it. Just to make sure. That's terrible. But, yeah, we're gonna need a fortitude save out of Kira.
Out of Kira?
You got this.
Hey, that's a 14 plus, I think, a 14. Nope, 14 plus an 18. Which again, let me do the math. 14 plus 18 equals 32.
All right, so your bones don't fully shatter, but it does still hurt as you get hit by a familiar spell, a bone shatter. You are not exhausted, but are instead fatigued. And you take, after cutting it in half, 19 damage.
19.
Yeah.
Ouch.
You probably could have done something a little bit better than that, but, what are you going to do?
Condition fatigued.
Let's see, and I think our buddy... It brings us to Nargan Haravex's turn, of course. So our buddy Nargan Haravex is gonna... he's gonna go with what he knows, right? We're gonna need a will save from everybody.
Is this a spell or spell-like ability?
Sure is a spell.
Is it a mind-affecting effect?
I don't believe so, no. Yeah, not mind-affecting. So, yeah, we'll start from the south this time. Let's change things up. How about Alwyn?
Will save? All right. That is probably not a great roll. That is an 18. You know what? What does my Skyman let me do? It's been a million years since we've had to use these.
That is a +4 onto a roll, but you got to do it before you roll.
Beforehand, yeah. Which I would have if I'd been thinking, because that's my lowest roll, but I did not say it, so hand off the chess piece. That is an 18.
All right, so Alwyn is slow.
Alwyn is regular because he was still hasted.
He was, even though everybody got hit with a slow before. He passed the save on the last one.
I think he might have been I think he and Azuma, were the only two that passed.
Well, bad news for Azuma. She just got her haste dispelled as well. How about Brixby?
Brixby rolls a nat 20 for a 32.
All right, Brixby's still normal speed. How about Snake Squad?
Levi is now slow because he also got an 18, but Tarazi got a 27 dress number.
All right, so Tarazi's not slow. There, weirdly, is no freaking slow icon on. That's very sad. How about Kira?
Kira rolled a what is this? A 7, a 14? I got a 21 total.
All right, Kira's not slow either. Only the big snake.
Kira's in fact still hasted.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Very sneaky. Nargan is not doing damage right now. It's very sad for Nargan.
Considering that's the second time he's cast that spell and he hasn't seen anyone slow down yet, does he just assume his magic isn't working and bow out of the fight?
Maybe. He probably runs away. He turns into a bunch of worms and disappears. Let's see, on Alaris' turn, she gets a little bit less chainsawed, but she's still laying on the ground. Which brings us to the rosy invisible Brixby.
Alrighty, the rosy invisible Brixby is going to take a 5-foot step to the west, and he is going to level his invisible finger at his former share, post share, and he's gonna let it go with the bow. So that is a scorching ray against Bull Hearsec, technically 3 rays. All right, yeah, so these are all against touch. That is a 21, 31, and an 18. Flat-footed.
Those will all hit flat-footed touch.
All right, excellent. And if I can remember correctly, you don't need... Do you need the fire and the sneak separately on this?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, yeah, I forgot. Oh, yeah, he is a... Yes, probably has some sort of heritage-based. So that is 52 fire and 24 sneak attack.
Wow. He's looking bad. He is looking really bad. But he is not down.
All right, and then the Wandering Star Motes should be affecting somebody. So I don't know if Nargan wants to make like a will save or if we want it to be on Nick. But yeah, because if it was cast on round 1 and we are on round 3, somebody should.
All right, Nargan's closer to you, so...
Okay, yeah. So I don't know if you just want to roll that on my turn. It's only a DC 20 will save, and he's a caster, so...
All right. Only a natural 2. He is star-moded.
Oh, so sick. All right, thank you.
That's
thank
big.
You, dice gods.
Sadly, I have no... I'm going to put the little sleep thing on him, even though he's not asleep.
Good night, Nargan. All right, and that's the end of my turn.
All right, slow snake squad and normal speed snake squad as well.
Slow Snake is going to make as though since he is staggered, a single roll to attempt to grapple Lil Nicky.
Oh, does he have improved grapple, or does this provoke?
No, this will provoke from her melee weapon.
Yeah, he's
I see
fine.
what you did there.
He's fine.
Oh, she doesn't have... Okay, cool.
Gonna provoke from her armor spikes that I should have given her.
How about a nat 20 for a 34 against CMD?
Well,
Yes.
Nat 20 is gonna do it regardless of CMD.
Yes!
That is big.
Grabbed.
Oh, Dice Envy coming in. Slow Snake is slow, and he just kind of slowly reaches around and constricts old little Nicky. Not slow, Tarazi is going to... is the square to his east occupiable?
Yeah, he can sort of cram into the niche in the wall. For those at home, it's kind of a curved-in thing. He'll just be squishing himself into some stinky jars and stuff.
Like mechanically squeezing?
No, you can use this square. You're going to come out stinky is what I'm saying.
That's fine.
Mechanically stinky.
Mechanically stinky.
The map made me do a fun loop-de-doop, but I should be able to cram as a 5 foot.
All right, that provokes as well.
Okay. I'll take that attack of opportunity. You just let me know what it is.
Yeah.
And then Tarazi is going to take a swing at Alaris Zaleshi to start his full attack with his silver chitin bane weapon. That is a 28 against her unconscious, flat-footed AC.
Yeah, that'll play.
Oh, wait, prone makes it a 32. Okay, then she takes some silver damage.
Ah, and then she is dead.
Yes.
Woohoo!
Woo!
And then he will attempt feebly, because he is still quite strength penalized, swing at the grappled Nikshario. No. If I had maybe rolled the better roll on the second one, could have hit, but we just move along. He flails.
All right. Well, that's one good thing for her, at least. I think the excited Asuma is laying on the ground, and she's gonna grab the laser pistol with her one strength, and laying on the ground, go to take a shot at Hersek, which means he will attack of opportunity stab her.
What a jerk.
Well, he's not a very nice guy. So she gets stabbed, but she's not dead. And she shoots him.
Oh, I hope it hurts.
What is her bonus? What is his touch AC? Yeah, she hits him. She has rendered Hersikayo unconscious.
Yes.
Good for her.
So he has been No, there was nothing there. I tried, but there was nothing there.
It happens.
Which does bring us around to the top of round 4. He doesn't get a turn at the top of round 4, so the nostalgic Kira does. She's up first.
Gonna shimmy forward here across this corpse and into this open space next to my favorite person. And I'm gonna try and hit her with a chainsaw.
It's mean.
She's mean. 12. But it's a 12 plus something lower because I'm fatigued. How long am I fatigued, Sam?
I don't remember. Jero would know, though.
To prob's just a second.
Oh, it's for minutes. You were fatigued
minutes?
for like 13 minutes.
13 minutes?
I think it's a 1 minute per caster level, unfortunately, yeah.
But you do have the flank, and she is grappled.
Yeah.
Sorry. So that's going to be plus a 22. What did I just say? 12 plus 22. 34 plus 2.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Great. 3 sad dice. We're going to roll this in the thingy because I can't do math tonight. Roll 3d6 plus 23. Ugh, pathetic. 37 points of damage, Sam.
All right. It's not a game. She's still up, but she's pretty hurt. She's taking a licking here. And she was grappled by a snake and surrounded. Well, that'll bring us to Alwyn's turn. Alwyn, you are no longer dazed, but you are conscious, and everything is very, very heavy.
Okay, so he is, first off, as a free action, going to drop his handy haversack, which will put him below his 10 pounds of carry weight that he needs to actually be able to move. Then, while he is still on the ground, so that he does this dumb thing before he stands up and provokes some Hersek.
Hersek is unconscious.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Azuma shot him in the face. In that case, he is going to stand up first. And then he is going to reach out to the currently star-moded Nargan and attempt a melee touch attack, which I have a +3 with because of my negatives to my strength. So let's see how this goes. That is a 6, Sam. Does Nargan have a 6 touch AC?
He does not.
It's basically a worm.
It's a little bit better than that.
Okay. Well, luckily the spell stays on my hand, but that is going to be my turn right now. I'm going to stay standing here just for the moment, deciding if it would be smarter to get closer to the other party members, but I think I'm going to risk it for one more round.
All right. Well, that brings us to Nikki. She is grappled. She is surrounded. It's a rough situation for her. And yet she's still smiling. She's smiling directly at Kira, who is, right up in her face, or as close as she can get with like a snake chomp partially between them. And she just says, "That's so sad to see that Asher is no longer with you. I've been watching you every
I'm
morning.
going to stab her in the face.
He's nowhere in sight. It's such a shame. We had such sights to show him." And she's gonna roll a concentration check to try to cast while grappled, which I don't remember the DC. I just know that it's gonna be very, very high, so it's almost not even worth knowing that she got a natural 20. Anybody know how to figure out the DC for casting while grappled?
It's DC 10 plus the grappler's CMB plus the level of the spell.
So what is your CMB?
Right now, my CMB to grapple is a +14.
So we're up to 24 plus 7 for the level of the spell. So yeah, she succeeds. She manages to cast a spell. So waves of intense pleasure radiate out from Nixariel through Kira and Tarazi. I am going to need will saves from both of them.
23 for Tarazi.
All right, you are staggered for 1 round.
It's an 18 on the die for a 32.
You are also staggered for 1 round. That does not seem like it's going to be enough to save Nixariel. Just guessing here, but she was really hoping for some fails. But hey, she made you feel good. See, she is a friend.
Nope, gonna kill her.
She just made you feel so happy that you can't even fully act for 6 seconds, and you're gonna kill her. I see how it is.
Absolutely.
All right, well, Nargan Harovex is up. I believe he needs to make a will save at the end of his turn to try to get rid of Wandering Star Motes.
Yes.
How does a 21 sound on that will save?
I think you got me beat. Yes, my DC is only 20.
All right.
So they fly off. I don't even know. Are they? Yeah. All right. So they technically go to Nixariel.
So that's on your turn or her turn or now?
That thing about reading your spells. Let me just... All right. If the target makes the will save, the Wandering Star Motes jump to the nearest enemy within 30 feet, who must make will saves every round or be dazed. Anytime a target makes its will save, the Wandering Star Motes jump to the next enemy within 30 feet. So, yeah, I would say that basically she makes a save right now to see if she's going to be dazed her next turn.
All right. She's a rather willful being.
I can imagine.
But she does roll a natural 2. So she is dazed, grappled, and surrounded.
Wow, yes.
How the turntables have turned for little Nikki. Alaris is no longer regenerating, so it is up to the Rosie Brixby.
All right, Brixby's going to do a couple things. Brixby is going to start off by moving 15 feet to the west. And while he is moving, he is going to draw his rapier. And then from this position, so he is basically, if there is a triangle for the folks listening at home, if there is a triangle of Asuma and Alwyn at its base, Hirsek at its apex, Brixby rounds out the base. And from that space, he is going to also pull a little bit of fur and a glass rod. And he's not going to think about Marrow when he casts this lightning bolt, who he's normally thought about, and when he's lifted this spell from those tortured skin-covered pages. He is going to think about Desna, whose stars, the stars of the void, have helped him so much in this battle. And then he is going to cast a lightning bolt directly towards the southeast, affecting Nargan before hitting the wall. So I'm going to need a reflex save.
All right. That is a 26.
Okay, he does pass, but he still takes half unless he also got evasion. Some rogue levels in that wormy dip.
Yeah, I don't think he has evasion.
So I'm just going to roll the 5d6 instead of the 10d6, so you don't have to cut it in half. Since it's only affecting one person, not a lot of good rolls. Maybe I should have thought about Marrow. That is 10 points of electricity damage before any resistances you may have.
So Desna doesn't approve of killing worms that walk with lightning. This is the moral of the story.
I get it. I mean, like, moths have to be like caterpillars at one point. But yeah, so that's the end of his turn. He has his weapons out, threatening his former love in case he decides to stand back up or do anything hinky. And that's the end of his turn.
All right. Well, he can't see you threatening him.
Mm-hmm.
But we all know that's there. Snake Squad, you got Nikki grappled, and she's in and a sticky wicket.
Yeah, I'm gonna let Tarazi attack before I do anything with Levi. Let's just swing for the fences with my feeble, staggered self. Hey, that is a 35 with this
Yeah, that'll play.
chitin bane silver longsword.
No, you don't get chitin bonuses against her. She's just a normal elf who has nothing weird about her at all.
I think you're being facetious.
I'm not actually, so it's only a 33 to hit. Still
Okay,
hits.
fine.
Still hits.
Well, with my strength penalty, it's only 9.
All right, it's not nothing.
Levi is just going to maintain the grapple. I'll roll. That is a 31.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Good.
You get constrict on that?
I should have gotten constrict on the initial grapple, but missed it. But I'll roll constrict now. Maximum 7, because again, strength penalty.
Well, she's getting pretty hurt, and she's still stuck in the same spot. Anybody moving anywhere, or you staying put?
No, we'll stay.
All right. Well, that brings us to Asuma at the end of the round, and since she no longer has to worry about getting stabbed every time she gets shot, she's going to shoot the bug guy a bunch of times. First one hits. Big time damage. I really should write like a script for this. Second one misses. Third one hits. Less damage. Fourth one, because she's no longer hasted, will also miss. But she did some damage. And we're at the top of round 5. Roll a death save for Hersic just to see. He's just bleeding away over there, if anyone's concerned about him. We're going to skip Kira's turn just because I don't think she's probably planning on doing anything. And
I would like to not do that. Veto. Reclaiming my time.
You can have your turn.
Thank you. I would like to full attack, please. Oh, I would like to full attack.
Yay.
What? I,
But you're staggered?
Oh, yeah, you are
Weird.
staggered. It's just one.
oh, just one? How boring.
Don't roll a 1.
Okay, I rolled a 15.
Okay,
Plus
don't roll
22
bad damage.
37.
37 to hit.
37 to hit.
Yeah, that'll hit the surrounded, dazed, entangled, or grappled Ninkshariel.
30 points of damage. And before I end my turn, I would like to officially enact my come and get me, because I keep forgetting to do that, which again, as a reminder, means you get +4 to hit me, Sam, but I get an attack of opportunity before each hit.
All right, well, she's unconscious and dying in the grips of the snake right in front of you, but she would still love to come and get you if she could.
Yeah, that's fair. Anyone else can come get me too. That's my turn.
All right, Alwyn.
All right. Alwyn is still holding the charge for this touch spell because he missed. So he is just going to attempt to feebly, with his 1 strength, slap Nargan in the face again. So let me make another roll and hope it's something better this time. That is a 14 against his touch AC.
That's not going to do it.
I'm hoping he's got a relatively low touch AC because he's a squishy wizard from like a book and a half ago. But it's apparently not that squishy. So
not too squishy.
that is going to be my turn. I'm assuming anything he hits me with back is going to be a spell. So if I step back 5 feet, that's not going to help me much. So I'm just going to stand there still holding my charged spell.
All right. Where are we now? Well, that brings us to Nargan. Nargan doesn't feel great about what's going on right now. I feel like Nargan sees a certain amount of writing on the wall, just like all around him as all his friends die and stuff. I think what he is going to do... What is this? That is not what I thought that spell did. So he's not going to cast that spell.
And he's threatened.
He is threatened. He doesn't know he's threatened. Or does he?
Oh.
Dun dun dun. So I think what he is going to do is just sort of collapse into a blob of worms, as one does. And this blob of worms all of a sudden takes up a bunch more space. And the blob of worms...
Are they all flying?
What?
The flying blob of worms?
It is a flying blob of worms. The flying blob of worms happen to flop onto Alwyn. So I'm trying to see how much swarm damage he does, and I'm not seeing it. Where is it? It looks like it's just a nice little 2d6. No big deal. So not a bad roll though. 10 damage for Alwyn from the worm that no longer walks, the swarm that flies. And
All right. 10 points of damage.
That brings us to the Rosie Brixby. Things just got a lot buggier all up in your business.
Things got so much buggier, and this is... Well, I mean, for one, great move. I always want to acknowledge great moves. It removes my ability to do precision damage in a little swarm form. So Brixby is going to take a 5-foot step to the south. Can he take a 5-foot step to the south? Is that like an occupiable square, considering...
Yeah, I
We're
mean,
there.
that's half a square, which Brixby's small enough. He won't have to squeeze to be there. I would say a medium creature would have to squeeze, but Brixby's a little guy.
Yeah, he is a little guy.
The little guy.
A little guy, just a little guy. And he's going to grab onto that little guy that hangs around his neck. And he is going to, using the power of his arcane bond, cast the spell from his spellbook. And he is going to hit Nargan with Gust of Wind going through these squares, since he is right there. So let's read this spell. Spell creates a severe blast of air approximately 50 miles per hour that originates from you, affecting all creatures in its path. All flying creatures in that area take a -4 penalty on fly checks. Tiny or smaller flying creatures must make a DC 25 fly skill check or be blown back 2d6 times 10 feet and take 2d6 points of damage. Smaller or flying creatures must make a DC 20 fly check to move against the force of wind. Tiny or smaller creature on the ground is knocked down and rolled over, etc., etc., etc. So what is the size of the things that the components of this swarm?
The worms that make up the body are fine creatures.
And they truly are. So I guess they have to make a DC 25 skill check with a -4 penalty.
Okay.
All right. They're going to do that.
Sky Meadow.
We do have a historical precedent of awarding it for Gust of Wind.
That's a 24 on the fly check. So very close.
Oh, yeah. That still doesn't make it. So let's roll the 2d6 just for fun, because I want to know how far they get knocked back. So they would have gotten knocked back 90 feet, but instead they just hit the wall. And then I don't really know how this works with a swarm. I'm okay. I don't know if they all take 2d6 damage. I'm okay with you not taking 2d6 damage too. I mean, I feel like it's mostly just to be like, cut off my friend.
Yeah, I think they take it.
Alrighty. So, oh, cool. So that's 10 points of damage with a 6 and a 4 as they kind of splat against the wall. And Brixby says, "Your quest for power has resulted in you debasing yourself to this. You were dead the moment you turned yourself into worms." And that's his turn.
All right. Snake Squad, holding a dying cleric in your arms here.
I don't want to rob Kira of the CDG.
Rob, no, go for it, please. Rob away. Kill her.
Okay, I think Levi is just gonna squeeze.
Down.
Just constrict her little head off.
All right. What's the damage for this fortitude save that she's totally gonna nail? Cause spellcaster.
Yeah, well, I mean, his strength is still, for the listeners, penalized, so let's roll. Isn't that automatically a crit? A whole 16.
Well, that is enough to take her below con anyways, so it doesn't even matter if she passes the fort save. She dead.
Awesome.
Whoa!
The boil that is Lil Nick Shariel, dealer from the Silver Disc Hall / technically agent / member of the... Why can't I remember the name of the
Jerk Club.
Titan Temple? You know the one.
The
Is
Chitin
no more.
Club.
Yeah, Chitin Club. Team Chitin. She dead.
Whoa!
All right. Then, no longer staggered, Tarazi has all this movement all of a sudden, so he's just going to kind of get back out into the open. I don't think he is in the position to really... Well, I guess we'll provide another target, so he'll just double move to get kind of, I guess, below the swarm. He'll just kind of, or I guess right on the border of the swarm, and be prepared to try and slash it really effectively in the future.
All right. Yeah, Suma knows she can't hurt swarms with her laser gun, so she's going to drop the laser gun and focus her one strength on trying to level the rocket launcher. We'll see if she makes it back around to that next turn. That's a next turn worry. How about Kira?
Kira's really quickly reading the language of this come and get me thing to see if I'm any use. Enemies gain a +4 in attack and damage rolls. Oh, attack and damage rolls. Look at that. But every attack against... Okay, so I don't see anywhere that it has to be a specific type of damage or attacking, so Kira's going to follow Tarazi's example and just make herself another target while still come and get me. She's going to step so purposely right on Nixariel's face as she walks over, and then I can't see how far of movement that is. This is... I'm going to stop here. Where is the swarm? I don't see the swarm yet.
You got to go down and hook back over to the west.
25 feet, so I have one more square. Okay. Yep, well, this is as close as I can get. No, wait, I'm hasted. I'm just going to jam myself in here and see if I can... Can I stand in this hallway? Does that work?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Let me... Yeah, there we go. All right. That's my turn.
All right. Alwyn is up.
Okay, Alwyn, now that Nargan has collapsed into bugs and can no longer be poked with a touch attack, is going to take a step to the north, and he is going to level the wand he pulled out like 3 rounds ago before he got hit by blasphemy. And how about you make that DC 25 save again, Sam?
Don't
As he
want to.
uses the Wand of Gust of Wind to slam him against the wall again.
This is very harsh, and he does pass it this time.
Got that -4?
Yeah.
So what happens on a pass? They just stay there. Actually, I have the wand right here, so I can read it. Yeah, they don't move on a pass. Okay. So that'll be his turn then. Take off a charge on that.
All right. Well, Nargan doesn't feel wonderful about how this is going. You know, he's bugs. The bugs are not, they're not really having a great time. I think Nargan the bugs, they're gonna very grossly fly their way out of here. Feel free to take any attacks of opportunity, but they can fly right out because they cannot be hurt by weapon damage. Yeah, they can go 120 feet in a single round flying, so I don't think you can catch them once they're out in the open. So I think we're out of combat unless you want to really book it after them.
So I was literally going to hit them with a fireball now that they were outside, and I couldn't hit any of my allies. It's my only AoE. And that is a long spell, but obviously he's not flying away in a straight line, so...
Oh, it would have been really cool to see a bunch of crisped worms falling from the sky, though.
Mm-hmm.
It's raining worms.
See you in book 6, Narcan.
It's like somebody hit a pinata of flavor. It just rains down. But yeah, see you in book 6.
Crispy worm pinata is one of my favorite Gutube flavors.
Oh, yeah.
Drop that in the episode titles.
Alwyn picks his haversack back up and then just immediately collapses back to the ground for like 2 more rounds until that thing wears off.
Yeah, it is 2 more rounds before your strength comes back, but just a quick 12 seconds.
Is Hirsek dead, or is he still making death saves?
He's been making death saves. He is still bleeding away, but he's not dead.
For now.
Yeah, Alwyn will heal him if they want
I
us
don't know
to.
if Brix wanted the honors with his rapier.
Oh yeah, no. Brix is definitely going to. I think he's gonna doot on over dispel greater invisibility that he has been under during this time, and looking down, just say, "What could have been?" In his worst, that is me doing Brixby trying to approximate a French accent before just straight up tailblade to the heart.
Oof. Cold as ice.
Yeah.
Is
No.
it?
I feel like Alwyn says out loud the, I can heal him if you want, right before Brixby just stabs into his heart.
I'm sorry, what? Listen, we could potentially get information from one of them, and maybe this might be the thing that arrests my slow slide towards chaotic good. But there's plenty of spells that allow us to communicate with their corpses.
I kind of like if they all stay dead because of how they suck, and not the good suck.
And Alwyn, who is terrible at reading people, is just very confused as to why we just murdered Hirsek. He's just assuming, like, oh, he seemed perfectly pleasant when we were dealing with. Just did not get any of the cues that he was a evil mercenary who is just with us for convenience sake.
Does anyone have any opposition to us taking at least maybe Nick Shariel to some place where we can use the magics to speak with corpse before disposing of her? She seems to have held the highest rank inside the Texas Lake.
She certainly seemed to be the leader of this group. In fact, she seemed to be the one recruiting these other 3, when we never did find out why or why she was following us, so it could be a good idea to try and shed some light on who she was and what she was doing.
If we bring her back, does that mean we get to kill her again?
Oh yes, big stuff. Well, I mean, you kind of just get to watch her animated corpse try to resist our requests and inquisitions for information as he straightens out the recurring enemy tapestry, which we're preparing to roll her in.
Yeah, you want to do speak with dead, right? You don't want to actually, like, revive her. Yeah, okay. Just to make sure.
Because, I mean, honestly, this is just meta, but, like, we could get a lot more information from enemies that have died in the past. It's just, I know it's not a spell that we normally have, but it's something we could get access to. I mean, Brix could even roll a UMD on it.
Mm-hmm. So. And it does make sense for her because we've run into her multiple times. She's said a lot of really cryptic stuff, hinting that she's not just a Technic League agent. Like, she's got this whole other stuff on top of it. And it does kind of feel like that's probably important to know in case we run into anyone else like her later.
Yeah, Izzy is on board with this. Kira is like, no, she should stay dead forever. And Kira's a child. We don't have to listen to her.
And she will really stay dead. We're mostly just, think about it like we're harassing her even in the great beyond.
Oh. Okay.
Yes, I've seen the spell that I believe Brixby is talking about used before. Think of it more as bothering her ghost until she tells us what we want to know.
Do you think we can call her names?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, certainly.
I'm going to give her so many mean stickers. And Kira pulls out her brand new mean sticker collection.
Oh, no. It's too much power.
While she's preparing to cover her in mean stickers, what sort of loot do we see on these clowns?
I have been typing that up the entire time.
Yeah, I believe Nargan had a gun, didn't he?
That's only in the art. There's no reference to any gun anywhere in the...
Darn.
Okay, so we've got 3 belts, we got 2 cloaks, we got some magic armor, we got 2 magic swords. The composite longbow that Nargan has is not magic, but it is masterwork. Nargan had a total of 10 potions. We've got some arrows, we got 2 magic shields. Nixariel had a potion and a wand. And her whip was not magical. It's just a whip because, she was into that sort of thing. We also had
Is it a caddy?
A couple headbands. And a silver holy symbol with that wonderful hook with the inward-facing spikes on it.
So it doesn't look like any technological items at all magical.
All magic, all the time around here.
You want to just both roll?
Yeah. So I got a 14 on the die for a 34. Or no, 20. Oh, wait, that's UMD. That's not the right one. I was going to say, that seems low. Because it was 24. I was assuming it would be a 2 added to it because I was looking at the wrong one. So it is a 34 because my spellcraft is 10 more than my UMD.
All right, so you're looking at a +1 frost rapier, 3 potions of cat's grace, 3 potions of cure serious wounds, 1 potion of cure moderate wounds, 4 potions of invisibility, 1 +3 leather armor, 1 +2 light steel shield, 20 arrows, 2 cloaks of resistance +2, 1 belt of mighty constitution +2, 1 +1 frost scimitar, 1 +1 studded leather armor, 1 ring of protection +2, 1 wand of bear's endurance with 8 charges remaining, 1 +1 breastplate, 1 +2 light wooden shield, the aforementioned masterwork whip, a amulet of natural armor +1, a belt of incredible dexterity +2, a cloak of resistance +1, headband of inspired wisdom +2, 2 rings of protection +1, a silver unholy symbol of Sugraz, and 1 headband of alluring charisma +4.
Ooh.
That is quite the treasure trove.
I kind of want that, but I also kind of don't want to give up the one I have now because it's the one that gives me 2 to charisma, but it also gives me 1 to int on top of that. But that 4 instead is nice.
So, anybody have any oppositions to, well, first, if anybody sees anything that they would like, if we start listing off all of what these things are, much of this is substandard to you marshals. Although this ring definitely would be useful, an improvement to somebody's ability to dodge as well as some of these cloaks. Is anyone interested in this belt? He holds up the belt of incredible dexterity. Is anybody not wearing a belt who is dex focused?
I could use the extra dex because of some stuff I know I'm taking the next level, but I have a belt slot item, so if Brix wants it, it's much more useful for him because my belt item's a good one.
Yeah, and that's my disabled device as well as most of my attacks.
Yep, no, you get a lot of stuff for that, for your roguey stuff. Yep.
If everyone is cool with that, I'm going to pop that belto on.
Yeah, go for it.
Take the belt.
And he does a little, so he gets on the disc and then he just starts swiveling on the disc, like in the slow, like it's like in one of those games where you can customize your character and they're rotating in a slow 360 so you can see it.
And weirdly, the stuff is just popping onto and off of him instead of actually being put on.
It's like a whole 60-second magical girl transformation, but the only thing that changed is your belt.
It's just like 30 different shots of the belt, like appearing.
Oh no,
on
it still zooms
Brixby.
in on every other part of his body and the sparkles appear, but then nothing changes.
That one.
I could continue to adventure, but it would seem ill-advised given how many of my resources I've used up to this point. How is everyone else feeling at this juncture?
I'm kind of tired, and I feel like I will be for another couple minutes. Also, ow, my body.
I'm very, very badly hurt. I was stabbed a bunch of times.
As far as health goes, I'm pretty good, but like Brixby, I've used up a lot of my magic, so it's probably a good idea for us to rest.
Also, there are just dead worms like freaking everywhere. It's really gross.
It is gross. Thank you.
Yeah, Levi and I are completely fine now that our strength is back, but we'll happily take the first watches so that you casters can rest after Kira and Asuma are healed.
I mean, we can probably rest in this room if we want to, because didn't Sam say that door is basically invisible when it's all the way closed?
Yeah, it's very well concealed if you pull the stone door closed.
Well, yeah, I guess that's not a bad idea at all. And we could use the teleports to escape if something bad happened in the middle of the night. Oh yeah, the cave is probably open enough that we could even have a fire out there or something before we go to bed if we wanted some comforts.
S'mores.
S'mores!
Vegan s'mores.
Yay.
Fortunately, the only thing we can make them out of is the chunks of Nargan.
Oh, never mind.
No.
Sorry.
Oh, no.
Swarms!
Worms.
Oh, no. Swarms. Oh, God.
Yep, that is very gross.
I apologize to anyone listening while eating.
Well, if you were eating, you're not anymore. That's the good news.
Unless you were eating swarms already, in which case, good for you.
On brand.
Protein.
Very on brand. So I think that after we've looted and maybe moved the corpse and rolled Nixariel's corpse up and maybe put it inside of the bag, Brixby's going to look around the room and say,
I didn't know if we were going to do it at one point. There was this moment that felt like really months, actually, that it seemed like imminent failure was on the horizon, even though it was only about 6 seconds. You are all so formidable.
That magic she hit us with was extremely powerful. We were very lucky the other three were not as strong as she was, or I really think we may not have won.
I'm glad she's dead. She shouldn't even be allowed to say his name.
Beyond vengeance, looking to the future, we've hopefully dealt a blow against what is becoming a clearer enemy by the day, the Technic League.
Asuma and Tarazi have just been standing there looking confused the whole time. This grudge being quite new to them.
Levi's down though.
Oh, Levi.
Levi's like,
Yeah,
Levi's a big
Say the
fan
word.
of the show.
In one Levi's just nodding his head. Yeah.
Levi, known patron. But yeah,
I, just as always, I feel honored to travel with all of you. I feel like I learn things all the time. And yeah, it's all no big speeches. I'm proper tuckered.
Bricks, did you see that hook thing I did? I didn't even learn that from you. I don't actually know how I did that.
It was so cool. I didn't want to mention it because I wasn't sure if you were trying to play it off. Like, yeah, no, I've been doing it for a while.
No, I want to play it on.
So it's on. It was on, as in the hook was on the cool list.
Yeah.
It was incredibly cool.
Thanks.
You are so scary, and I mean that in the highest compliment possible. I imagine like the amount of blood that is just on the chainsaw alone.
Kira's like giddy and dripping in blood, just like, this is a great day.
We've turned this into like a charnel house.
Much, much cooler than the other time we've seen that move used, which was when Vargas force hook charged through a fire at a hallucination and just took like 30 damage and didn't hit anything.
We were young.
We didn't know any better back then. But if you're bedding down in this long abandoned Sarkorian temple, as a safest place as any in this horrible, horrible valley, you can go to sleep under the glowing eyes of that weird old statue. Yeah, they glow now that it's dark. It's weird. You do all level up.
Yay!
As you go to bed.
We made it.
But that's the kind of thing that we'll talk about next week, because I'm going to bed.
All right, Sam.
Good night, Sam.
Good night, Sam. You know what? You take another level in GM.
Good night, Sam.
Have one as a treat.
just a little treat.
Against the machine. Against the machine.
Pot Against the Machine is property of Network Against the Machine LLC, all rights reserved. Pathfinder and the Iron Gods Adventure Path are property of Paizo Publishing. See their website for more details. Theme Against the Machine was written and performed by our own Zach. See the show notes for additional music and sound licensing. If you enjoyed the show, we encourage you to leave us a review.
Howdy. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Howdy.
Howdy.
It's good. Good howdy and howdy.
Western waveforms. I'll shoot. Yeehaw, etc. Nick Shario's done gonna murder us all. Hooey.
Well, don't worry, the Mets just won, so...
Yeah. Stanek.
And I did not bail on work today to drive to Queens to go see the Mets game, so...
It's a mistake.
Well, then we wouldn't be recording.
Oh, never mind. It's a good call.
Unless I could record from the stands at City, because I would probably still be there. Quite trapped. Ajar door.
Alrighty. Is everyone ready to
All right.
cloop the dupe?
Wait for it.
Dupe,
Okay.
Flooping and duping.
1, 2, 3, floop.
Oh, that messed me up. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that clap came through. I hope so.
Do we need to recloop?
No,
Looks like it got it. Looks like it got it.
we could
we
all
need to
send it
recloop
to
the
Jeff.
cloop.
Yeah. Jeff, do you want to review the clap and let us know if it's good or not?
Nah, no need to recoup the group gloop.
Working all the things. I've got Skype open. I've got Audacity open. I've got Hero Lab open. Wait, where's Hero Lab? There it is. I've got the cat here.